Okay, let's start now with logical reasoning, and because we have to complete it by tomorrow, so that you can ask all your questions on Saturday. Don't worry. Okay. Now, who wants to read? Please raise your hand. Okay, let's give Shaurya a chance this time. Go ahead, Shaurya.
Some readers wondered whether my reading of the crisis in the news media is about journalism or about the news industry. Though the fortunes of the news industry have a bearing on journalism, there is indeed a difference between looking at issues that govern journalism and the factors that contribute to the financial stress of the media industry. Over the last few years, I have been discussing the impact of digitalization on journalism. The pandemic has accelerated the process of digital transformation of the news media. Therefore, these issues need close scrutiny. One of the defining elements of analog journalism was the way two crucial functions of journalism, bearing witness and making sense, complemented each other and helped people make informed choices. When I talk about the strength of an analog, I am neither romanticism the past nor am I a Luddite. Most importantly, I do not believe in nostalgia. Many scholars have established how rose colored glasses always lead to an unfair distortion, looking back on the best of the past while comparing it to the worst of the present. Hence, when I talk about the digital information news environment, I am talking about how there needs to be a conducive atmosphere for credible information to resonate with the people. Literature on misformation, disinformation, and malinformation reveals a new distinction in the minds of the citizen. Editor and journalist have to contend with a new breed of skeptics. These are the people who trust social media forwards more than evidence-based data-driven journalism. These confirmation bias flows from encrypted social media platforms that are full of conspiracy theories.
Good. Would anyone like to explain what this passage means? Okay, Ashank, go ahead.
So this passage talks about how about the media, how and journalism, how it is doing right now. And before the present, it is very good, and now they are giving their own judgments. Like in the Ria case, also he made him a verdict like that only, and uh, and some misinformation, disinformation also been revealed, which is not true, but they had made an information to be as a true. So that's it.
Misinformation, disinformation, malinformation. Anyone? Okay, Ashank, go ahead.
Sir, I knew the only two misinformation and malinformation. The misinformation means that the information which you are providing is wrong, and and malinformation is that your information is not very much important, not important, but
No.
lack of information.
Okay, good, good effort, good effort. See, I'll tell you. Misinformation, disinformation, and malinformation. Okay, misinformation means something which has been spread, okay, with a bad intention. All right, and it is wrong information. Okay, so if I'm saying that actually I'm getting confused between misinformation, disinformation. Um, yeah, okay, yeah, misinformation means something which has been given, some information which is wrong, okay, but it has been spread without any bad intention. Okay, disinformation is information which is wrong, and it has been spread with a bad intention. Okay, so for example, if I say that Donald Trump's campaign has spread disinformation about Joe Biden, means like he has spread lies. Okay, like if he has spread disinformation about Mexicans, it means he has lied. He has said they are crossing the border and this and that, which is simply not true. Okay, it's just false information. That is called disinformation, and it is spread with a bad intention to discredit somebody, to discredit Biden, or to discredit Mexicans, or with some evil intention. Okay, Now, what is misinformation? Misinformation is that same information which other people then spread to others without any bad intention. I think that it is correct information and I spread it. Okay, so suppose I'm a follower of Donald Trump. Okay, that's the last thing I would want to be in my life. But let us assume that I am a follower of Donald Trump and Donald Trump says that all Mexicans are rapists. This is obviously disinformation because all Mexicans cannot be rapists, right? Like I personally have a lot of Mexican friends, male and female. So a female Mexican, how, I mean, of course there is male rape, but it's a really long shot that my Mexican friend, she's a rapist. I doubt it. Okay. So that is definitely disinformation, which is being spread by Donald Trump. Donald Trump is saying that Mexicans are rapists. That is disinformation. Now, if I am an innocent person and I believe Donald Trump, okay, probably the biggest idiot in the world, okay, somebody who believes Donald Trump, and thinking that whatever he has said is true, I spread it on to others. And I tell somebody else next to my next door neighbor that, did you know all Mexicans are rapists? Okay, so this is misinformation that I am passing on. It is wrong information, but without any malice. Okay, so in law we say mens rea, right? It means guilty mind or bad intention. So there is mens rea in Donald Trump's case. So there is mens rea in disinformation. There is no mens rea in misinformation. But what is common? The common thing is that both of them are false news, fake news, wrong information. Okay, now malinformation. Malinformation, mal is like malice, right? With, again, with bad intent. But in this case, the information is true. Okay, so for example, like Joe Biden's son, he had been, I think, I'm not sure, but I think he had been discharged from the army for like bad conduct or something like this. Okay, there was some kind of corruption case against his son Hunter. Okay, Hunter Biden. So suppose I take that information and I start, like, campaigning everywhere and saying, oh, Joe Biden, his son is this, his son is that. Of course, it is true, but it is malinformation. I am trying to kind of spread that, like, for example, Tablighi Jamaat. Right, there was a gathering of people over there. There's no doubt about it. But it wasn't like that was the cause of coronavirus in India, which was being kind of like, oh my God, do you know that these people, they gathered over there in such numbers and this and that. And using this kind of true information, you are kind of trying to spread some kind of a negative environment over there. So malinformation is where you use true information with malice. Understood? So this is the difference. Next, 106. Okay, Shantanu, go ahead.
So the answer option C is correct because A and B are nowhere supported by the in the passage, and they are the main idea. In fact, if you look at the third last line, it is written that the editors and journalists have to contend with a new breed of skeptics.
Skeptics means what?
So skeptics means so they're basically the person who is inclined to question or doubt the accepted opinions.
Skeptics means doubters. Okay, so if you all follow UFC, there's one of my favorite UFC fighters is Conor McGregor. Okay, Irish guy called Conor McGregor, and he used to say, like, doubt me now. All the skeptics, like, because before the match, people just said, he can't play, like he won't win, he will lose, he will finish in like first minute itself. Okay, and instead what he did, he beat the other guy in 14 seconds. Okay, just ran out with a kick to the face, done, match over. And he said, all the skeptics who doubted me, doubt me now. Right? So now you will never forget the meaning of word skeptic. Things like this. Just try to entertain yourself, then only you will have fun. If you sit and think, oh my God, I have to study, you will never manage. Okay, next. I really find it interesting. Like, you all take 5-10 seconds before raising your hand, like you have to read it, like you have never seen this question before in your life. Okay, Shantanu.
So in 107, both option A and B are correct. And even if we don't read the line that they've mentioned in the question, it can be directly implied from the passage that the author is trying to basically convey that the digital news is neither evidence-based nor data-driven, and they don't help in people in making informed choices.
Right. Fair enough. Pretty simple. Okay, next. Okay, go ahead again.
Sir, it's given in the last line of the passage. In fact, it's the ending of the passage. Their confirmation bias flows from encrypted social media platforms that are full of conspiracy theories.
Do you know what is a confirmation bias?
Uh, no, sir.
Confirmation bias basically refers to anything which matches your belief system already. And I'm not talking about like sociologically. I'm talking even about like your senses. Okay. For example, I was watching this yesterday, this YouTube TED talk. Okay, like I told you, YouTube is very useful place, right? There are TED talks also there. If you just subscribe to TED and watch all the talks, trust me, you will be like doubly intelligent as you are right now. Okay. Uh, so I was watching this TED talk, and like they played a sound clipping of something which was very muffled, kind of weird kind of sounds were going on. Okay, could not understand. And then after that, they played a clipping of somebody saying something like, "Hello, how are you?" And then they played the same clipping again, but I could hear, "Hello, how are you?" Like in a very muffled way, but I could hear it. Okay, that's called confirmation bias. Like you tend to agree with those things that you already know from before, because your brain is basically hallucinating your reality, right? What you are, that's why you have optical illusions, right? So whatever senses are telling the brain relates them to things that it already knows, and then it proceeds accordingly. Okay, so suppose in the morning I say, today you will fail at everything you try. Okay, you will just have the worst day of your life. You step out of the house, and by chance, okay, a bird just lands droppings on your t-shirt. You'll say, oh, see, I knew it. Today is going to be the worst day. I knew it. See, there the bird has landed his droppings on my t-shirt. That's confirmation bias. On the same hand, if I say that today will be a great day of your life, best day of your life, even something small happens, like by chance, you get a free ice cream from your friend. You're like, oh, see, I knew it. Right? It's confirmation bias. Okay. You say today you will see a lot of yellow taxis on the road. Okay. If you're from Bombay, it's called Kali Pili. Okay. So today you will see a lot of so in Bombay, sometimes you have Kali Pilis, and sometimes the car is entirely painted black. Okay, in Calcutta, the car is entirely painted yellow. So what if I tell you in Bombay today you will see a lot of black taxis instead of Kali Pilis. Even if you spot only one, you will say, oh, see, black Kali Pili. Right? It's like that. Confirmation bias is like something which plays to your earlier beliefs. Bias means what? Bias means a certain kind of favorite belief. Like I tend to have a bias towards NUJS because I am myself from NUJS. Right. So confirmation bias means something that supports your bias. So if I say NUJS is the best college in the world, okay, and then I found out that NUJS won Vienna. Vienna is like the biggest moot court competition in the world. We won it again this year. So then I will say, see, NUJS is the best because it is a confirmation bias. Okay, like that.
So,
When
sir,
you
can
yeah.
we say that horoscopes are supposed to be based on confirmation bias,
Yeah,
or
yeah,
they support
definitely you can say.
confirmation?
Definitely you can say horoscopes play to your confirmation bias. Right, good. That's a very good example of confirmation bias. And when you read these things in your passage, please Google them. Rose colored glasses. Do you know what rose colored glasses means? Yeah, Ananya, go ahead.
Sir, it means looking through any situation or anything with a much more positive or a rosy, like a better image than what it actually is.
Yeah, like positive and better, but not in a good way, in a bad way. Like like if you have a very rosy picture of law school, then you will be disappointed when you go there, because it's not like rivers of milk and honey are flowing over there, right? So you should not look at law school from rose colored glasses also, because ultimately there are some harsh realities also about law school, right? It's the same way. Like uh, yeah, I think that's enough of an explanation, so you need to be wary, you need to be careful, you should not look at things through rose colored glasses. Of course, it's good to be positive, it's good to have a positive mindset or outlook, but you should not be falsely optimistic, right? That is called having rose colored glasses. Okay, because that's not reality. It looks rosy because you are wearing those glasses, but it's not reality. Okay, now I think we have done 107, right? Have we done 107?
Yes, sir.
Okay. 108?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Right. 109. Okay. Ashank?
Sir, I think the answer will be B because roses colored glasses always lend to an unfair distortion. It means that comparing the past with our future and how it is benefit. So I think that the answer will be B only.
Right. What he's saying here, the author,
Looking back on the best of the past while comparing it always led to an unfair distortion.
right, I don't believe in nostalgia. So, in which context he's saying that I don't believe in nostalgia? He Can anyone explain this to me? What is the whole thing he's talking about? Where did this rose-colored glasses and nostalgia come? What nostalgia is he talking about? Yeah, Shantanu.
So, in the second page, the first line, author has defined that the analog journalism, he has supported analog journalism, and then he has given a, so to say, a reasoning for. He said that many scholars have established how rose-colored glasses led to unfair distortion. He meant to say that people look at analog journalism as if it is something that is not that shouldn't be supported. But then again, the author has said that hence, when I talk about digital information news environment, I'm talking about how there needs to be a conductive atmosphere for credible information to
Conducive.
resonate with the people.
Conducive. Conducive means supporting. Okay,
Yes,
that's
sorry,
correct.
conducive.
Yeah, yeah, go on.
So that's it.
Okay. So yeah, you are right. Correct. Okay. So basically, what he's saying is that I feel that print media is better than online media, and he's saying that's not because of kind of nostalgia or something. Okay, like in our day things were so much better than now. Now you people are like this. The answer you will get is okay, boomer. Right? If you talk like that, he's saying that I in fact don't believe in nostalgia. In fact, rose-colored glasses lead to an unfair distortion, looking back on best of past while comparing it to worst of present. Okay, so this is the entire point he's trying to make, that it's not about nostalgia, it's not about like looking through rose tinted glasses, because that is wrong. I have some different reasons for saying that print media is better than online media. And what are those reasons? Those reasons are because in journalism of the old kind, there used to be some sort of respect and dignity, which is missing now in the modern era. Okay, now in the modern era we have misinformation, disinformation, and malinformation, which wasn't the case earlier. Right? That is the whole point. Okay, last question for this one. Yes, Shantanu.
So it's pretty direct that the answer should be B, credibility of information. And even in the third last line of the passage, the author has said that these are people who trust social media forwards more than evidence-based data-driven journalism.
Right. Now we have got one new university, right? That's called WhatsApp University. It's better than even NLS and NALSAR, right? So this is the place that people really take their information from rather than any other sources. Okay, so that's what the author is critiquing. All right.